Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today we are going to wrap up my first quarter of my 5-year Unhaul project. I started this project earlier, well, at the beginning of this year. I went back and watched some of my older book hauls on this channel, and I wrote down all the books that I had not read yet. And if I haven't read them, and I still have them, that means they have been sitting in my house and on my shelves for 5 years. And I thought, you know what? It's time to read them. And you know what? If I make a commitment to reading them and they sit in my room and they stare at me for a chunk of time and I still don't pick them up, then it's time to get rid of them because I may have lost interest in them. So we are going to wrap up how the first round of that did. I had 5 books that I needed to read over a period of 3 months, that's a pretty good, for my reading speed and my reading tendencies, that's a pretty good timeline for me to be able to get through 5 books. It's pretty easy. And we will talk about, I'll show you each one and what happened, because things happened. Okay, good news first. I read The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This was probably the most intimidating one on this stack, so I'm really glad that I got to it. I buddy read this with Wendy, and I listened to the audio version of this. She physically read it, and she finished it before I did, so there's that. She really got to a point where she couldn't put it down, and I thought that was fantastic. I also really, really enjoyed it. It just took me a little bit longer. I also have younger kids who were dealing with not being in school and were adjusting to all that. And I was kind of in the middle of this when all that started happening. So I think that affected my reading speed as well. But I was still able to finish it. So it's like not a big deal, but it just took me a little bit longer. I really enjoyed this. I really did. I was actually surprised at how much I enjoyed this because I was scared of this one. I was afraid it was going to be like over my head. It's literary fiction. I don't always get along with literary fiction. I don't always follow it quite as well. But this was wonderful. The audiobook is fantastic. So if you've thought about reading this and you think you'd be more comfortable with the audiobook, I definitely suggest it. I loved it. This follows, oh my goodness. This follows a young man, and I hate to say exactly what happens. Something very tragic happens to him as a young boy that he is involved in and witnesses, and he's a victim of something as well. And it has a big impact on his life to the point where he has to go and live with his father. His father is terrible. He's so bad. And so you see him going to be with his father. His name is Theo. I'm sorry, this young man, his name is Theo. He's going to live with his father. And so he's in this brand new place. He meets a friend named Boris, and, they get along really well. They go through some things together. They have, there's a lot of drug use and drinking and underage drinking and stuff like that happening in here as well. And then something else happens, and then Theo ends up being on the run, and he's kind of, trying to make sure he gets away from authorities and stuff because he knows people are going to be looking for him. And he ends up going back to New York where he's originally from, and he reconnects with someone that had a big impact on his life right after what happened when he was living in New York. It's a whole thing. Theo gets very much into the world of art and art dealing and art restoration and things like that. And he finds himself in some sticky situations because he finds some ways to kind of cheat the system a little bit to make himself more money. So you follow that as well. And then all these things kind of come to a head, and you see him kind of grow up, and it's, he starts when, oh gosh, I think he was like 12 or 13 or something. And then he's a man at the end. So many things. And I loved it. I really, really thought it was great. I thought it was really, really well written. There were a few parts that were kind of long-winded, and I was kind of like, okay, over it. Sometimes the dialogue got a little choppy sometimes. So because of those two things, I did take off a star. So I gave it 4 stars instead of 5, but the story was fantastic and I loved it. And I was really surprised at how much I really enjoyed this book. So very happy with this one. More good news, kind of. I started Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I am only halfway through it though. I am buddy reading this. And I swear, my buddy, I love you. She's been so patient with me. I have been the worst buddy reader for her. I don't know what it is. But I'm going to be picking this back up and trying to read this in the month of April and finishing it up because I am really enjoying what I'm reading. Brandon Sanderson is fantastic. I don't know what it is that is making me not pick it up as often as I really want to. I think other things are just a little bit easier for me to get through, so I'm picking them up. But when I do read this, I really enjoy it, and it's really interesting. And, I'm 300 pages in, so I'm halfway there. I just don't know why I'm hesitating to continuing to pick it up. I don't know what the problem is. It's Sanderson. I love him. I love this just as much. I don't know. It's me. It's not him. It's not the book. It's me. So I have started it, and I do plan to continue on and finish this in the month of April. That's one of my big goals. So I'm keeping this. I'm not getting rid of it, even though I haven't finished it in its entirety. As long as I start it, and I know I want to keep going, then I'm good. So that's my rule for myself. So I do plan to finish this, and I'm going to keep this one. And let's start going downhill. Join me, buckle in, strap in, because it's going to go down fast. Okay. Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. I DNF'd this. I did start it. I got 20 pages in and I couldn't do it. And this was the biggest surprise because of all the books, probably besides the Sanderson, this was the one I was most excited to read. And this is one that I thought, if I have to get rid of that without reading it, I'm going to be really sad. I didn't enjoy it at all. I was bored. So bored. I don't know I think I just can't connect with the writing. And I flipped through it a little bit to see if maybe it changed, or maybe as we got into more modern times, the writing would change. Nope. So I DNF'd this, guys, and I'm going to get rid of it, which is really, really, really surprising for me. I really thought this was going to be the one, but... And then I have the other two books that I didn't even pick up. So that is Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. This one I kind of, as time went on, I was less interested in it. I think I could probably skip that one and be okay. I don't think I'm missing out on an amazing book here. And The Watch by Joydeep Roy Bhattacharya. This one I'm a little bit sad, but again, it's been sitting in my room for 3 months and I haven't touched it, and I've been looking at it every single day. So, yep, these are going to go. I didn't touch them. Not a single one. So these 3 are getting officially unhauled and off of my TBR. And then these 2, I can pretty much say I've read. I'm still working on this one, but I will be able to read it here soon. And then this one I read and I'm keeping on my shelves because I really loved it. And I'm excited to read more Donna Tartt now. All right, so those are the results for the first quarter. I will be back tomorrow with my next set of books that are going to be for my 5-year Unhaul project. So I'm going to have some more coming up, and hopefully I can get through those. Okay, let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.